Hey everyone on YouTube, welcome to the first inaugural video for Conway Off-Road. This channel is to document the experience of owning a side-by-side and also a boat. So we are thinking about getting a boat sometime in the new year, 2026. This will be after the summer and after the new model years come out and all that stuff, especially for side-by-sides. We're getting the side-by-side around Christmas time, so we're looking at a December time frame. So it's going to be pretty cool. So back at Valentine's Day, me and my dad went to two different dealerships. We went to Redline Power Sports right here in Conway, and we looked at Kawasaki, Polaris, Honda, and Can-Am. So two of those brands were definitely out of the question. Can-Am because it rides too low, and I think it's the I forgot what model what model it was, but it was from Can-Am, and it just sits too low. I couldn't even see above the dash. So that one's out of the question. Honda, which is pretty good. We were thinking about Honda, but after what my dad saw, that it doesn't have a locking rear diff for being off-road, especially out in the woods, over in Johnsonville and probably up in the mountains. It doesn't have a locking rear diff to go off-road. So Honda is definitely out of the question for that, and I really like the Hondas in terms of the size, and we can pretty much customize it to have a radio that'll work with this iPhone right here. This is the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and we can install the audio kit. We can install, it just doesn't have anything in it. Even with the display, the center display, where the speedometer would be, I mean, there's nothing to it. That would just cost a fortune, when a lot of these other brands we can pretty much get installed from the factory. So the other two were the Kawasaki KRX 1000 Blackout Edition, but I do like the SE ES model of the KRX 1000 series, which is like black and gold. And with Kawasaki, it has the best leg room, best headroom, best everything. And it's also really got a really cool, like, we also got it has a really cool stereo. It's got a nice infotainment system. It's got pretty much everything. So, I think with the KRX 1000, it's definitely our top priority, our top list selection for side-by-side. The other is the Polaris RZR. There's a 2-seater and a 4-seater. The 4-seater is the one we're gonna go with, especially with the KRX 1000. We're gonna go with a 4-seater instead of a 2-seater, which is why a lot of these didn't really do all that well, because it's a 2-seater instead of a 4-seater. And sometimes the 4-seaters didn't have that really good leg room and headroom in the Honda or the Can-Am. I mean, Honda was gonna be one of our top brands to go with, but with Can-Am, yeah, we couldn't even see above the dash. So that one's out of the question. The only thing wrong with Honda is that there's nothing in there. It's just pretty much stock. It's pretty much basic, and it doesn't have a locking rear diff for going off road, especially out in the woods in Johnsonville and up in the mountains in North Carolina. And also with the more budget brands that we saw in Little River, I think it's at the Big Toy Superstore, they had Segway, which only was a 2-seater instead and not a 4-seater unless you were going utility, which we want the sport one. Yeah, we want the sport side by side. So that Segway was out of the question. I'm not going to get a Segway because it was a 2-seater instead of a 4-seater when we need something for my mom or whoever comes with us on our off-road adventures. We do need a 4-seater instead of a 2-seater. CF Moto at that time only had utility side-by-sides in the dealership, in the showroom. But later this year, they're coming out with the Z10, the CF Moto Z-Force Z10, which has a 12.3-inch screen with Apple CarPlay. It's going to have everything. It's going to have a lot of modern utilities in there, like a modern speedometer and tachometer, maybe a tachometer. I'm not sure what it looks like, but everything is in a 12.3-inch screen with Apple CarPlay, so I can connect my phone to Apple CarPlay and use it with the side by side, and get get a full sound system in the Z-Force Z10. And when I saw videos from the Z-Force Z10 of people test driving it, it looked amazing. So our top ones is the Z-Force Z10, the KRX 1000 SE ES from Kawasaki, and the Polaris RZR. Those are our top three. Can-Am, Polaris, and Kawasaki. That's it. And we'll see which one we want, which one we get the best deal on later on this year. And stay tuned for the next video on how we're listening to music in the car, or in the side-by-side. Especially with something like this. And I can actually listen to SiriusXM through the radio app and stream it through the side-by-side's Bluetooth input, or listen to it through Apple CarPlay, or however I want it. It'll work just fine. So, I think with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. We're going to talk about how we're listening to music in the side-by-side, which one we get. We're looking at the different radio systems in these side-by-sides, because a off-road adventure is not complete without the perfect soundtrack. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.